there's also coming with a lot of questions in your mind? That situation?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it was a lot of food for thought, and it was a pretty intense experience. And but yeah, the feeling that I can trust myself, then I can trust myself to keep myself safe, even when I'm having like really turbulent emotion. It's not emotion. It's, as I said, it's some deeper processes just getting chaotic.
Well, it's a really good example in a way, because change is being able to enter into how it is we make sense of and integrate the experiences we've had, and be willing to see the two sides of us. As you said, we're both the sort of like the book and the reader. You know, we have that which is doing this, and we have this part that's observing it. We could say we have the inner child and the executive function, the adult, you know, and they're always in a kind of a so being able to somehow instinctually say, okay, this is happening, but it doesn't require me to bring fear, okay, to the situation. Just like your example. This doesn't require me to take control, okay, which is often fear-based. We take control when we have fear. We can allow for ourselves to have an opening to an experience that maybe we wouldn't choose or we wouldn't desire, but that we can trust, good word, that we have what it takes to find our way through that. And maybe in ways we'll never fully understand, it's how we allow the unconscious to become part of the conscious. There are some big shifts happening, and sometimes they don't all make rational sense, but we go through those experiences. Where we get into trouble is when anxiety or fear or guilt or judgment start to become ingredients in the mix. And we start doubting and questioning and all of those things. We can allow ourselves to relax through the experience. We can...
All right, so we only have 15 minutes left. Before our time together here ends, I would love to, maybe we could share one last thought, ask one last question for someone. I'll just begin because everything that we actually are talking in right now gave me like a click. When you say that, okay, living life from the inside out in the okayness of who we are and being present, it seems like for me right now, my brain is comprehending is like living life in alignment of you. In your book, you mentioned about the thoughts, the emotions, your physicality, and all this will be in aligned to how you live your life. But then we will get into that point if we get off from the treadmill and we give ourselves a slow time to get to know ourselves, to discover ourselves. So it's like, it's like a puzzle that has been put all in together today. But I would love to know, Douglas, if the moment a person actually slows down, this is where all the needs, all these childhood needs comes up, all this anxiety, the fear, the judgment. This is where a time for us people, humans, to deal into it, giving it time. Isn't it like... It can be if you and this is like a choice for them to deal it, like a choice to go into that or continue living the way they want it to be.
It's a great question, because if we've been avoiding something and then we quit avoiding it, okay, then yes, it shows up in a way that says, oh, now I know why I avoid it. This is difficult, it's painful, it's scary, it's it means I have to face what I would rather not face, especially because it's often, we avoid what's painful, right? We avoid the things we would rather not have to deal with. So usually there's a period of time where we say, okay, slowing down and becoming self-aware. What is that? What is that fear? What is that negative self-talk? The self-awareness is allowing ourselves to turn to ourselves, to make peace with ourselves by allowing for those things to be there. In the same way that you're holding space for a child, we hold space for ourselves. We allow those things to emerge. Now it can help to have a therapist or to have a good friend or to have people to help us sort it out. What is that? Ultimately, we want to balance emotion, thinking, and body. We need to regulate. Okay, regulate means not allowing my anger, which might be very justified, to become too strong. Anger isn't the problem. How strong it is a problem. Okay, so we teach ourselves to regulate, which is another way of saying slow down. And then we try to balance, listening to our emotions, understanding our thinking, where is it happening in our body. And when that is in balance, then we're living intuitively. We're living naturally from the place of our own, from not being too extremely one-sided, okay? What often happens is emotion and thinking get going. We forget about the body, which means we forget about the present, because we live in the present through our senses, okay? And we get caught in our head, strong emotions creating certain thoughts creating stronger emotions, and we get caught in this turmoil of our hypothetical domain, our imagination. So we teach ourselves how to be aware and how to balance. And then as we settle down, we become more able to be present and to trust that my intuition knows. I know. There's a famous quote in my book that says, we know our true self. We just have to allow for that to become more accessible, get out of our own way, in a sense. So usually there is a period of time when we make a change where we have to go through the hard part to get to the point where, now I can see. Because if I've been avoiding something, well, there it is, and it can be difficult at that time,
I'd like to comment on your question before about is it forgetting yourself or forgiving yourself? It's a very interesting question. I feel like in my personal experience, the way I feel it works, at first it is forgetting, then distancing far enough and creating some safe space for yourself to rediscover something. After that, you can move on to the forgiving part and, to going back to the past part. Because, and what you told me, Douglas, a few months ago, that creating some distance first might be necessary before gathering enough resources to deal with something. As it's like the safety function.
And that's even about aging, okay? That's even that it takes time in life. We can't impose on ourselves what we think we should know. And so slowing things, living in the question without the answer is a way to, I like that you could say, to forget or to take the pressure off of thinking I need to know, I need to fix it, allowing ourselves to step back and calm down and gain the space that we need. So yeah.
At that time, are we allowing ourselves or are we accepting ourselves?
I would say those things go together. Accepting ourselves is allowing ourselves to see what maybe we've been avoiding or hiding from, and it's letting go. You could say we have two parts. One is our will, which is trying to control things.
I've been in the feeling when I skip the job, it looks like that I'm ready to surrender it all. That I will recognize myself as a loser. It looks like that when I skip the job. Another one. So at this time, it's okay to me now when by reading the book to encourage my thoughts, to fill my soul with some silent thing or peaceful things, with talking to some friends. But the question to be awareness of myself is how can I practice this day after day? Because I know that when I go on the street, when I do my job, there's a lot of things that happen around all the time. And that's kind of condition that it's hard to deal with all the day. Yeah.
It's true. We there's all kinds of expectations and normal patterns, what we do. I think we swing maybe meditation and practices where we can feel deeply engaged with ourselves. Sometimes journaling, or for me, when I'm working with my hands, somehow I feel like I'm living in the present and ideas are coming through me. But I think you're right. It's being able to swing back and forth. Sometimes we do things for other people to make them happy, or we do a job because we need the money, even though it's not maybe feeling very true to ourselves. We have to compromise and find our way. But I guess I can say, because I'm old, is that if you keep swinging from side to side, you eventually become more centered in the core of yourself. There's that which is inevitably true, and we shouldn't be too harsh on ourselves. If for now I'm doing this and I know maybe it's not the right thing or the perfect thing, I'm compromising something.
It's not a matter of age, right?
It's not what?
It's not a matter of age. Whatever age, you can do that kind of practice.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Just to wrap it up, it seems like living from inside out takes so much awareness, so much self-acceptance, self-allowing, self-forgiving. And these are concepts that we can talk like for the entire day so endlessly, but our time for our dialogue today has ended, and I really appreciate being here again with 3 amazing people. And yeah, I hope that we can still continue sharing our thoughts, our experiences, the journeys, because for me personally, I get a lot of reflections and lessons to learn out from you based on being like living life further than we are, and also you doing such a very beautiful work with the kids, and for both of us who are experiencing and trying to experiment how to live life based on what's okay in ourselves, So yes, our dialogue at the crossroad, 4th part has ended, and that's it.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.